Thanks so much for being with us here on ANF Plus. I'm Joy Limnacker, joined today by attorney Holly Waltman for our segment called Beyond the Headlines. And we brought in Holly today because, well, she's just really intelligent and pleasant to be around, but also because there are several new developments in the YSL RICO case. I mean, this is a case that sort of doesn't go away. So the latest here is that one of the former defendants in this massive case is now free. He's finally gone home from jail, and that is Shannon Stillwell. Remember that Shannon Stillwell was actually convicted on some of the lesser offenses, but was acquitted of murder and several other charges in this trial. Meanwhile, Yak Gotti, Diamante Kendrick being his real name, is trying to get free, and there are several other defendants who are expected to go to trial in February. My colleague Yasmina Alston has a closer look at that.
There was really no reason for Shannon to continue to sit at 901 Rice Street to wait for the lawyers to figure it out.
Shannon Stillwell accepting a plea for several charges, including gun and drug charges, after being found not guilty this month on major charges in the long-lasting YSL trial. Now that his cases are resolved, Stillwell will be released with 12 years probation, 5 of those years to be spent away from Metro Atlanta, with exceptions.
You're getting a second opportunity. I suggest you take full advantage of it. You're 32 years old. I can say to you, based on what I've seen, the next time you get a felony conviction, you're going to be looking at a lot of years.
And in another courtroom on Tuesday, Diamante Kendrick, a.k.a. Yak Gotti, came before a Fulton County judge for a bond hearing. Kendrick, who was found not guilty during the YSL trial, was still in jail for charges he got while in custody, including contraband and fighting. While his attorney argued for his release, the judge had to defer making a decision based on a potential probation warrant that came as a surprise to everyone.
Judge McBurney said from the bench that he was told from probation about the warrant. The state did not know about the warrant. Well, it's my understanding they did not, and the judge did not know about the warrant either.
Meanwhile, the state's YSL case isn't done quite yet, despite the indictment's biggest names no longer on trial, including Kendrick, Stillwell, and rapper Young Thug, who took a plea deal in October. Also on Tuesday, the remaining 5 defendants appeared in court, with only one, Miles Farley, taking a plea deal. Prosecutors want their trial to begin in February.
Yasmina I guess they were licking their wounds or not happy with the outcome perhaps, but I think it was a miss on their part not to speak with those jurors and find out their feedback on how the case was presented, what they liked, what stuck, and what didn't stick.
Yeah, that seems like a very reasonable point. So the other concern that you mentioned is the access to jurors who are essentially untainted. Do you think that there could be a real issue finding jurors who have not been exposed to widespread media coverage now that there has been this historically long trial and now there's going to be the second trial? Where are they going to find people who can be objective?
Certainly, Joy, that's a huge concern here, and I think it's twofold. The first one being, of course, this has been completely televised and on all of the media outlets all through the state and the nation and really the world, right? This has been a case that has been at the forefront of the news for a long time here, and so you're going to have a challenge, and we saw it in the first go-round, finding jurors that are unbiased, that have not already been persuaded one way or the other. And then, of course, the second part of this is finding jurors that, see, jurors now know how long these trials can possibly take. And so finding a juror who is unbiased and able to sit through and wants to participate in their civic duty of giving jury service to these individuals who so desperately need a fair trial is going to be paramount. It's going to be one of the hugest challenges that I think both sides are going to have to tackle.
So we know at just yesterday in court that one of the 5 remaining defendants already took a plea deal. There are 4 remaining. Do you think that this will even get to trial in February, or do you think we're going to see more plea deals?
So I certainly think there's a large amount of time between now and February where a lot of this procedural stuff is going to become fluid. I certainly think that there exists an opportunity and a likelihood that we will see fewer and fewer defendants remain as we start the process over to begin jury selection in February. Lots can change, and trials are just those wild portions of the law where everything that you've prepared for, everything that you anticipated, sometimes doesn't happen that way, and things go awry and go sideways in real time.
Yeah, absolutely. Any other thoughts that we should be keeping in mind as this thing continues to unfold?
Yeah, certainly. So we saw in the first trial, of course, the judge, Glanville, was removed. A new judge was applied and put in as a substitute judge to finish out the rest of the trial. I think it's important to note that the judges that we've seen this week handling these various miscellaneous matters, right? Those are also different people with different backgrounds and different life experiences. They're very different judges. Judge McBurney, as you can see, is starkly different than some of the other female judges that are involved in this case on ancillary basis. So depending on who is on the bench and who is actually deciding some of these pretrial matters really will have a huge effect on the actual trial itself.
Absolutely. All right. Well, thank you so much, Attorney Holly Waltman, for joining us, sharing your expertise and analysis. And I just want to remind our viewers that, we're going to continue following the latest. And just like we said, gavel to gavel, that's what we've been promising. We're covering every step of this YSL case. Now the second round of trial is expected to start in February with these 4 defendants who are still remaining. Also, if you haven't done so yet, please download our free app to get updates sent right to your phone. Now back to Local News Live.